something to get us pissed off again about the state of our country? Why not? Why not? All right. Are you going to shoot me? Women asked before police fatally shot her. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Randall. Links in the description if you want to help support. We could use your support. So click some links, do something, get involved, follow, share, comment, all that good stuff. We're going to get into this news story. I'm not sure when this happened, where it happened, or why it happened, but we're going to find out.
We are following breaking news from Blendon Township. For the first time, we were able to see body camera video from 2 police officers involved in the deadly shooting of Takaya Young and her unborn child.
We're going to give you your first look at scene video from the shooting that happened last Thursday. Before we show you the body camera video, we want to warn you it is disturbing. Now's the time to mute the TV or leave the room if need be.
Now, this incident happened at the Kroger on Sunbury Road in Blendon Township. That location is closed today, but is expected to reopen tomorrow morning.
And clearly this incident has triggered outcries from Young's family.
They, along with members of the community, are demanding answers. Again, we do want to warn you, these images may be graphic. NBC4 is bringing you team coverage of this developing story.
All day, Caleb Michael and Eric Halperin have been talking to those people representing the family of Takaya Young and those people in law enforcement.
Jamie Ostrov has been watching the video second by second for a closer look at what played out in that Kroger parking lot. Jamie?
Yeah, we have body-worn camera footage from each of the 2 officers who were involved in the incident last Thursday. Each video from each officer is a minute long as the confrontation with Takaya Young plays out in just a matter of seconds. The first officer to interact with Takaya Young approaches her car under the suspicion that she stole liquor from Kroger.
Hey, stop. Hey, out of the car. Out of the car.
By the time the second officer gets to the car and walks in front of it, the first officer had asked Young to get out 5 times. He keeps asking. Young argues. You can hear the exchange on that officer's body-worn camera.
Out of the car. Out of the car. They said you stole stuff, do not leave. Get out of the car. Then get out. No, then get out. Get out of the car.
Young begins to drive. In this free...
There it is. Right there. This is how all these things start. Everybody thinks they don't have to listen to the police. That you get to decide what's happening. You don't. Basically, cops are allowed to violate your rights. And then you're allowed to go sue them because they violated your rights. You're not allowed to call out the constitutional violation on the spot to avoid the cop violating your rights. If he's choosing to violate your rights, he's going to do it. You can either go along with it and live to sue him, or not and get shot. This is how it always plays out every single time. You listen to cops, you follow their directions. If they violated your rights, get them fired after the fact, or go get your check from the county. You do not fight or argue with the police. It's not hard, people. This is not hard. And this is not a conversation that black people have with their children only. I'm white as shit. I have this conversation with my kids. If you are involved with police, you listen, you pay attention, you show respect. If they do anything wrong, we can deal with that later. But when the incident goes down, play along.
freeze frame, you can see...
Now, I'm not saying it's okay for police to shoot people. I am saying that. It's okay to shoot people.
The car make contact with the officer standing at the front of the car as his feet leave the ground. That is when that officer fires one shot through the windshield. We've paused the video to not show that deadly shot. When we pick up the video a moment later, you can hear the commands continue. The car rolls through the parking lot, stopping.
Okay. So it's even worse than I thought. And her family wants answers? Okay. The answer is your child tried to run over a police officer. You're lucky that he only fired once and his partner didn't unload the entire magazine into your car. I almost said clip. It's not a clip.
Under the awning by the store.
Crazy.
The video ends with officers busting the driver's side window to get Young out of the car. Now, I did ask a use of force expert who is not connected to this case to review the exact same footage that we received. I will have his take coming up at 4:30, including some of the questions he still has about what unfolded. Jared.
All right, Jamie, thank you. We now turn to NBC4's Caleb Michael, who has been speaking to people who know Takaya Young.
Yeah, Caleb, what are they telling you?
Well, what they are telling us is that the cop should have clearly just jumped out of the way and let her go. There's no reason to ever shoot somebody trying to run over police. He could have shot her in the arm. He probably should have shot her in the hand so she couldn't steer. It's fucking people, I swear.
Well, Jenna and Jared, they tell me that Takaya Young was the life of the party. Anytime she was around, it was a really good time.
Oh, yeah.
They say she loved her two little boys with all of her heart, and she was also very close with her family. Now, as we all can expect, this was a very emotional day for the family. It was the first time they got to see that body cam video from the blend.
I also hate that they do that every time there's a victim. Well, we spoke to the family and they were just the love of the community. They used to hand out apples to the children and they would volunteer for the old people. What are we doing? What are we doing? The poor girl just died. If you go talk to her family, they're not going to be like, yeah, she's a fucking asshole who never listens, who does whatever the fuck she wants. They're not going to tell you that, even if that's the case. They're going to say, oh, she was so sweet. Everybody loved her. I don't get it. I don't get it.
London Township Police Department of that shooting. We were here this morning when the family came to the police department to view that video for the very first time. They were inside for less than 10 minutes and left not too long after that. In the statement from Blendon Township Chief of Police John Belford, he says this situation is a tragedy and is asking for prayers for the family during this time. I also spoke with Sean Walton, the attorney for Takaya Young and her family. He's been calling for this body cam video to be released all week long and says Young did not deserve to die. Are you surprised by what you saw?
I'm not surprised because based on what the police chief stated he saw, I think what is most surprising and what, wasn't quite clear was how quickly the gun came out and why. It's a tragedy, but more than anything, it's a crime and he should be immediately terminated and arrested.
Okay, so the crime is, before he got ran over, he pulled out his gun. Is there some kind of law that says a cop can't pull out his gun? I'm not aware of any such law. And from my understanding, police pull their guns when they feel that a threat might be imminent. And an arguing loudmouth bitch could cause an imminent threat when she's driving a 5,000-pound weapon.
Walton is also calling for the name of the officer who shot Takaya Young to be publicly released. He says that is what true accountability and transparency looks like. But at this time, we are told that officer is on leave pending review. Local for you in Blendon Township, I'm Caleb Michael, NBC4.
Caleb, thank you. The police union is also talking about the body camera video released today.
They, too, are saying it is difficult to watch. NBC4's Eric Halperin is in Blendon Township after talking with the union. Eric, what else are they saying about this?
Jared and Jen, first I want to mention we are in the parking lot where this shooting happened last week. The Kroger.
All right, so it is tragic that the single shot fired killed the girl. But had the single shot just hit her in the shoulder and she lived and went to jail, would the cops still have been fired? Or under all this heat? You know what I mean? Would the cop be under all the heat if it wasn't a fatal shot and it just grazed her? That's the problem. Is they're like, well, the fact that it ended in her death is why it's a crime. Okay. Shouldn't it be a crime if it's a crime? So if he wasn't supposed to pull out his gun and use deadly force, or use force at all force cops use is deadly, or could be. I don't get these situations.
Is closed and has been closed all day. Employees have been telling people that it will be reopening tomorrow morning. Earlier today, we talked with the executive vice president of the police union about last week's shooting and the body camera video. Brian Steele says this is tragic for everyone involved. He's asking the community to not just look at how the situation ended here last week, but also the moments leading up to that. He brought up how Young did not listen to several orders to get out of the car. He also mentioned at the time the officer got in front of the car, it was parked. I asked Steele if, based on the speed the car was going in the video, was shooting instead of getting out of the way the right call.
I think I told you. He should have just dodged the car.
Imagine if the officer was able to move, he would have moved. Again, I can't speak for him, but I'm sure in his mind, I can only assume he did not think he can get out of the way fast enough. But again, we will not know that until the investigation is completed. And he.
Well, I would assume that he tried to get out of the way and shot at the same time. You don't really have time to decide if you can get out of the way and or shoot. Like, these things happened in seconds. You don't have time to evaluate. The chick threw it in drive. He fired and dipped to the side. I don't know. Easily avoidable. Don't run over police officers.
We don't even know what was in his mind.
What the?
And Steele mentioned the investigation. So what happens from here? BCI is still investigating. Once it's done, it'll turn that over to the prosecutor, who will present to the grand jury. The grand jury will then decide if there will be charges. Local for you, I'm Eric Halperin, NBC4.
We started on the way here to
Leslie,
hear the story
you don't
of the
think so? You don't think
the
what?
last time we.
But don't think so, Leslie. What do you don't think so about? Yeah, see, yeah. That's what I don't understand. They're like, well, why did the cop even have his gun out? I don't know. Maybe because they're dealing with somebody who's not listening, who's behind the wheel of a car. I mean, granted, it's sad for the family. Did your daughter have to die for stealing a bottle of vodka? No. She could have admitted to stealing the bottle of vodka, or whatever it was, got out of the car, got her sentence or crime or whatever, and moved on with her life. But she literally told the cops, no, it was somebody else, it wasn't me, I'm leaving. That's not how it works. And then you just put it in drive with another officer standing in front of your car. Like I said, I'm surprised you were only shot once. I'm surprised the other officer didn't unload into the car also. There is a plethora of cop videos out there shooting into cars, trying to get away, or trying to run them over. That vodka could have done some damage to the... Oh, was she pregnant? She pregnant stealing liquor? Interesting case. Interesting case. And the other thing, if that girl was white, would anybody give a fuck? If it was an Asian, an Indian, an Arab, would anybody have given a fuck? No. It's because there was a white arm holding the gun and it was a black girl in the car. America is completely retarded. Unfortunately, we have fallen. We're a shitty third world banana republic that operates on bullshit and ideology instead of facts, logic, and reason. And it doesn't look good. It does not look good. It does not look good.